30-day all-access pass is priced at $2.99, but for a limited time, we have discounted that price to $2.39, dropping the daily cost to $8.30 per day. Basically, we took $9 Monday, dropped the price, and we're giving you the option to lock the discount for a full 30 days. Even better, for a limited time, we are adding 7 days free. That's a $99 value to kick in once your 30 days expire. This brings your new daily cost to $6.40 per day. So outside of the discount on 30-day all access, we are tossing in a free 7-day all access and $99 value for a combined savings of $159. So to recap, for the next 37 days, you'll get all plays across all sports from your favorite WagerTalk or Sports Memo handicapper played during your access, including 5% best bets for around $6.45 per day. Act fast as the special offer expires at midnight on May 1st.
Good morning, guys, and welcome into WagerTalk TV. This is Puck Time, and we are here to break down a handful of games for you in the National Hockey League. Last night, the Seattle Kraken take down the Colorado Avalanche, take a lead in their series, but probably the most surprising one, the Florida Panthers, they fight off elimination. They get the job done in overtime. And who else gets the game winner but Matthew Tkachuk? An unbelievable night yesterday, guys. And honestly, after this show right now, I wish we could just fast forward to tonight's games. I am that excited for it. Looking forward to breaking down these games. And I just got to say real quick before I go to Carm, sometimes things work out for you guys. And last night was the first night that I dove into props big time this playoff so far. And although Colorado lost, that last goal they had scored by Evan Rodriguez, assisted by Devon Toews. I needed a Rodriguez point and I needed a Devon Toews assist. So it's so nice when things work out that way. Up around 18 units now in the playoffs, trying to turn things around. Got a big play going tonight. Looking forward to it. Carm, how was your night, man? It was two really entertaining games, that's for sure. And what do you have going on tonight for clients?
Yeah, it was fun night of NHL. 1 in 3 nights. I'm glad I disagreed with the Prez on the Colorado Kraken under. That series has been dead unders, with the exception of Game 3 that took place in Seattle, a 6-4 game. These teams have now gone under. I think 7 of the 8 times they've played this year. And a few of those games have been 3-2. We should have looked at what 3-2 exact scores are paying, because they got to be pretty decent. They got to be at least plus 900 or so. But even the shot props, I was a little ticked with the shot props, Andrew, because they got readjusted. Barkov, the one that I gave out on yesterday's show, he ended with 3, and then they readjusted to 2. Came up a half shot short on McKinnon. He was on the ice for 6 of the last 10 minutes and couldn't get one more shot on goal. He was playing feed guy instead of shoot guy. And then let's forget about Tkachuk. He scored the game winner but couldn't get us there. So, with that said, we go out to 2 closeout games tonight. 2 closeout games thus far. Carolina and Boston, neither one was able to do it, but let's see if Vegas and Toronto Maple Leafs. Sorry, Andrew, I'm choking. Unlike what might happen to the Leafs if they lose the next 3 games against the Tampa Bay Lightning. I think the Leafs are going to close out tonight. I want to say, and we're going to get to business in a second. I saw this on Twitter literally minutes before we went to air. Jerry Springer has passed away. Rest in peace, Jerry. Now, guys, I haven't always been this beautifully bald guy. I used to have hair. Look at that picture. Me and Jerry, that was back in the 90s when I actually had to spend money on gel. Gel, baby. That was on the episode of Torontonians who disliked the Leafs and why. It was such a great episode. But with that said, guys, we have some hockey. Rest in peace to Jerry. I'm not sure which way he's going, up or down, based on some of those shows. But rest in peace, my friend. 50% off today at WagerTalk. You can get any package or a 1-day all access for 50% off. I myself have 2 MLB plays, 3 soccer plays, and 4 plays tonight in the NHL. So 9 plays. The 1-day all access gets dropped from $39 down to $19.50, and you're gonna get all of those plays and anything else that I might add. So take advantage of that. And now we go to our favorite Thursday guest, and probably our favorite guest every day of the week. Brian Leonard. Brian, what do you have up at Wager Talk, and how you doing, man?
I really think we're supposed to believe that there was actually a show about people who lived in Toronto didn't like that. I want to know, are you the father?
That's why Carm was really on that show, isn't it, Brian?
Yeah.
That's why.
I've got a nice card of hockey and baseball today. I didn't have any hockey yesterday. I ended up passing in hockey, and so it worked out well there. I wasn't on the show yesterday. Today I got 2 plays, and of course we'll discuss the games here as we go. But I also have 3 plays for Major League Baseball. I've been really, Andrew was talking about playing props in hockey. I've been playing a lot of first half team totals. We had one yesterday, the Cubs. Excuse me, not the Cubs, the A's. The A's pitching staff is horrendous, but they're able to score, and I was able to get over 1.5. Yesterday they scored 3 in the first 5 innings, so that was a nice winner. We have 3 more of those going today. 3 first half team total plays in Major League Baseball, along with our 2 hockey plays, which we'll talk about here on the show today.
Awesome stuff, Brian. I love those team totals in baseball. It's just so nice to focus in on one team,
we have the music,
or
have
really
the music
fading
on our
one
YouTube
team.
channel. We're
So
good.
when you talk about these team totals, it's really the same in both hockey and baseball. I'd say, just in different ways. And they don't always, correlate to what happens in the full game. You could take one team total under, but that favorite that won the game could put a bunch of runs up there. So love that, guys. Make sure you find Brian and Carmine over at WagerTalk.com. Let's jump into our games, guys. We have Tampa Bay and Toronto, New York Rangers and New Jersey, and the nightcap with Winnipeg and the Vegas Golden Knights. Let's not waste any time. Let's jump into Tampa Bay in Toronto. Toronto Maple Leafs trying to close out their series. They are minus 160. Tampa plus 135. Total at 6.5. That puck line, guys, nice price there. Plus 170 on the Toronto Maple Leafs here. We can make all the jokes. We can talk about the history. We can talk about how long it's really been. But Carmine, this Maple Leafs team finds themselves in a very good situation right now, looking to close this series out at home. Can they do it tonight? Or do you have a total play for us? What do you have for us in this one?
I think, if you look at the 2 games that were played in Tampa Bay, you start to think that they should close this out. We've seen 2 teams thus far, and I talked about it, the Boston Bruins and the Carolina Hurricanes, that have been unable to close it out in Game 5. And Andrew, this is a series I thought was going to go 6, possibly 7 games. And I don't know why. I just feel like the world is on Toronto to make it out of the first round. Everyone's hoping they make it out of the first round. I just don't feel it's going to be as easy as everyone thinks it's going to be. Everyone's all over Vasilevsky and talking about Vasilevsky. The guy's got 2 Stanley Cups, and he made it to the finals last year before they ran into a superior Colorado team. I'm not ready to write off the Tampa Bay Lightning just yet. And the market, if you're watching the market on this game, the Leafs opened at about 150-ish. They went up to about 165 at some places this morning, and now the money is coming back in on Tampa Bay. The Leafs have only thrown in 1 dog this whole series, that first game where they played an uncharacteristic game for them, tried to play physical instead of playing offensive. But let's not forget, this series could very easily be tied at 2 games apiece with Game 5 tonight, if not for a couple, number one, heroics and getting a last-minute goal from O'Reilly, and then Matthew Nees stopping that puck right on the goal line that was going in. They're factors within a game. You have to look within a game. I think Tampa should have won at least one of the 2 games at home, and something tells me this is going back to Tampa Bay for Game 6. I am going to take the plus money on the Toronto Maple Leafs, and I think Tampa's way to get there is going to be not to play a defensive game. They're going to have to outscore the Leafs, and you have to outscore the team to beat them, but outscore in a game where this is like a 4-3 game, a 5-4 game. I think we're going to see some goals tonight, but I think Tampa's going to get the win. I'm going to take the plus money. I'm hoping that Leaf money continues to come in and pushes Tampa Bay to give me plus 140, plus 145, and I'm taking Tampa Bay. I'm not a hater. I'm just saying the value lies in Tampa Bay. If you believed that this was a series I was going to go at least 6 games, maybe 7, it could very well end in Tampa Bay with the Leafs winning there. But let's get another game out of this series. Give me Tampa Bay plus money in this one. Brian, give me your thoughts.
I talked about it last couple times I was on about home ice disadvantage, not a disadvantage, but it's very much lower in the playoffs than it is the regular season. I believe it's like 53%, 52.5%, something like that in the playoffs the last few years. And it's because the teams that are bad on the road are not in the playoffs. And we have seen the road teams dominate since Saturday. Road teams 14-3 straight up. And as we know, most of the time the road teams are the underdogs in these games. That said, with all the talk about Vasilevsky, and the guy is like an all-time great goalie, I would expect Tampa to really be very good defensively in this game. Normally, I would come into this thinking it would be a shootout, and when teams got their backs to the wall, and Tampa Bay's down 3-1, you could definitely see them pull the goalie earlier in this. But I think he's got something to prove here. I think the whole team's got something to prove. They blew that game the other day, no doubt about it. They were the better team in there, and the way they lost that game is not indicative of a team with their history. So we could see either two things coming on here in this game. It will either be Tampa Bay falls behind early and gives up, or this is going to be a real physical game in which they give it everything they've got, and that's what I expect to go here. I actually thought the line was a little bit short here for Toronto because they are back at home and they've been able to win in Tampa. That said, Tampa would be the only way I would look here, the road team with the pedigree they have. But like I said, I mean, I had them in that last game, and I thought I was in pretty good shape when they were up, 4-1? So I was wrong there, and I could be wrong again here, but Tampa Bay is the only way I would look.
Well, I really enjoyed
Brian, Andrew, I was just going to say, sorry, I meant to send you a message. I'm going to jump in and just cut you off. This isn't Wednesday show where you get cut off normally, but with that said, I'm focusing on the live lines just to keep you guys up to date. And I'm telling you, there is some Tampa money coming in. You have books like Heritage and Bet Online. They're down to now 147 and 146 on the Toronto Maple Leafs. Every other book has pretty much 150 across the board, with the exception of Caesars, and Caesars prices are always skewed, I believe, to the favorites, always 10 to 15% higher than every other book on our live lines. But with that said, there is some Tampa money coming on, so it's going to be interesting to see how this line progresses throughout the day, Andrew.
Absolutely. These lines are going to take some action, and we talk about that in the NHL. We don't see as much movement, but in a game like this, with a team like Tampa Bay that has gone to the Cup 3 straight years, and a team like Toronto trying to get that monkey off their backs, this will get attention from the betting marketplace. I think we will see some movement here. I just wanted to say I really like what Brian mentioned there, and I saw his tweet yesterday. I retweeted it, and it's so interesting because I put a lot of emphasis into teams getting the last change. But it really hasn't seemed to matter. It's more so about how a team is performing overall, not really about the matchups one bit. Evidently, getting to put your stick down last and getting the last change has meant zip so far in the playoffs. So it's all about adjusting, and I'll definitely take that into account for my handicapping right now, and definitely going into next year's first round too. So I appreciate Brian for that info and for that tweet he had yesterday. Look, guys, there's so many different ways to look at this game. And I want to say something here about this Maple Leafs team that unfortunately not every fan would agree with. I'm happy that some do. But it takes a couple games that you don't deserve to win for you to be a successful team. And I think that the amount of games that the Leafs deserve to win over the past few years in the playoffs that they did not win, I feel like things are kind of coming full circle now. The last 2 games, having to come back, being down 4-1, scoring a late game and a goal in the third period, winning in overtime. That is what great teams do. And, you know, picking up a guy like Ryan O'Reilly, picking up Samsonov in the offseason, Matthew Nyes settling in like he's been a pro for many years at this point. That is what great teams do. However, you know, as you guys mentioned, I really believe that Vasilevsky in an elimination game, we know what he's like in these situations. I don't think that if they get a 4-1 lead, he will allow that many goals again. I don't think that the defensemen for the Tampa Bay Lightning will, you know, struggle to clear their end of the ice. Guys, overall in this series, my prediction is that I think Toronto will have to win and close out this series in Tampa Bay. That will be the biggest test for them, I think, closing the series out on the road. We know they don't want to go to 7. I think Tampa Bay wins it. But honestly, I think the better way to go if you like Tampa in this game is the first period. Because look what's happened the past 2 games. I mean, history talks, right? History tells us kind of what we should do here. And the odds makers are talking to us as well. By looking at the lines here on the game in general, Tampa Bay plus 130. First period, they're plus 105. It's like that for a reason, guys. And I'll go ahead and say Tampa Bay first period plus 105. Also, in every game so far this series, we have seen the first period go over the total. Over 1.5. It's at minus 155. Guys, I'm playing with house money right now. I bet that almost every single game of this series, and I will continue to bet it again. So should be a great one. And if you're betting lots of player props, I would recommend looking at Vasilevsky player props here and over on his goalie saves, not points or goals for Vasilevsky. And I also would recommend looking at Ryan O'Reilly to get a point or to get a power play point. He's been a huge guy for the Maple Leafs. Carm, one more thing for you, and then if you want to introduce the Rangers and Devils game and then throw it to Brian, that'd be great.
Yeah, definitely. You know, Andrew, I like your thought process on like the balancing of the universe with the Toronto Maple Leafs not winning games that they should have won and lose, you know what I mean? And then winning games that they should have. Maybe things are balancing out. Listen, this is a much better Toronto team than last year's version of the Leafs, the year before that. I think you can go back at least 3 to 4 years, and this is a much more complete team. So, playoffs to win this series against Tampa Bay. I didn't want to lay the price that I did, but I missed the 150, so I had to take the 170. But I think they get it done. I just don't know if they get it done tonight. If they don't get it done tonight, I just have a feeling they get it done in 6. We don't want to see a game 7. Everyone wants to see a game 7. Leaf fans cannot. You're going to need those defibrillators in your homes if if this series goes 7 games. But Leafs have to close it out. They're playing so much better, and I think I hate to say it, unless you're a Tampa Bay fan, we're all kind of getting sick of Tampa Bay being in the Eastern Conference Finals or in the Stanley Cups. We just want to move on with things, but we're 2 games in, we're 2 game 5s in where nobody could close it out. We'll see what happens tonight because we got a couple more tonight. And a game 5 where it won't get closed out tonight is the Rangers and the Devils. This one has been a road team's dream. The Rangers go in, beat New Jersey 5-1 both games. New Jersey makes the move to Akiri Schmid, and he's been perfect in goal. They win 2 at the Garden, 2-2, minus 120 on New Jersey. Even money on the Rangers in what has been an even series. The over-under is at 5.5. Brian, I'm going to go to you. Give me your thoughts on this one.
Yeah, you mentioned the road team's perfect 4-0 in this series, and I know I had the Rangers in the last game. I believe we were laying 150 or so at home, and from what I remember, everybody and their brother had joined me on the Rangers in that game, and everybody lost. And I've found over the years, not as much from the pros, but the general audience that watches these games, if you lose on a favorite, in a game that everybody thinks they're going to win. It's hard to come back on that team again the next game. I feel that's the best time to be on them because they're not in everybody's favor. In fact, Gallant came out and he basically tore his team a new one. He said, that's not Rangers hockey. We didn't play Rangers hockey. And the worst thing you could do as a player is get chewed out by your coach for effort. And that's what he did. And I think it's going to spark this team here. We're already seeing the road team win all 4 games so far. I prefer the Rangers here. I think they're the better team. I think they're more, I talked about this the other day, actually. I think they're better prepared for the playoffs than this New Jersey team. Yes, the backup goalie's come in. He's been terrific. We have seen this happen time and time again. I'm big on sample sizes, and I've seen enough Rangers games the last couple of years, last 3 years or so, to tell you that this is a team I want to be backing when it comes to the NHL playoffs, especially off of a loss. So I've got the team that is embarrassed. I've got the coach that's really come down on them, and we're getting them here in basically a pick 'em price. I'll play the Rangers here.
Well, you have to love the price you're getting here. The road team has won in every game, Brian. You've talked about how successful these teams have been. I have been so adamant about the advantage of experience level in this series with 10 players on the Devils, never playing a playoff game going into this series. Everybody on the Rangers had that experience level. And here we are, the series tied 2-2. We're back, to where the series started. And I agree with you. I also look at this series and say that the Rangers have one of the best power plays in the National Hockey League. They're 0 for 8, their last 8 power play opportunities. Now, I'm not going to sit here and say I can handicap power plays, guys, but I can tell you that I think over the next couple games here in this series, we won't see this Rangers team go 0 for 8. They've got so much talent out there with Kane, Tarasenko, Panarin, Zibanejad, Kreider. Too many options out there. And I gotta quote Dave Koken here because Dave, he was talking about this game and he said that the Devils forced the Rangers to play East-West hockey and not North-South hockey, which was kind of my worry when it came to, picking up Tarasenko and Kane. Because let's be honest, guys, they're not really tough, edgy players. They're guys that like to hold on to the puck and be a little fancy and score goals that way. So I think the Rangers need to get the first goal of the game. They need to establish that they're going to dump the puck in and establish possession and make a couple big saves early on with Igor Shesterkin. That Jack Hughes goal early on was pretty much the game breaker. And anybody that knows me knows I never say stuff like that, a first goal, but Jack Hughes slicks behind the defense, gets in alone, scores a big goal on the road, and he's silenced the crowd at Madison Square Garden. Guys, I like over 5.5 in this game. I feel like that we'll finally see Schmid potentially crack a bit. I think Gallant is definitely going to have some fire in this team tonight, but I do like the road team as well. Wouldn't be shocked to see the road team win a lot of the games in this series as we move forward all the way to Game 7. Carm, are we in agreement here in this game? Muted.
I didn't want to cough while Andrew was talking. Andrew, I can't believe I want to disagree with somebody on this show at some point, but I can't because I honestly feel like I thought the Rangers were the right team coming into this series. I felt great about that opinion after the first 2 games, and they made that goaltending change. And like you said, it's been a completely different New Jersey team. I was going to go to, I was in New York City. I was going to go to Game 4 of that series, but the prices were insane. Like I kept seeing like $500 to $600 for a seat. I don't have Andrew McInnes and Brian Leonard money, so I decided to pass up on the game, go for dinner, watch it on TV. But this has been it's been a road series thus far, and I don't know if it changes tonight. It's kind of like those Carolina series where you just bet the home teams, and it seems like it's always the home teams. Last year, the year before, they win 2 at home, they lose 2 on the road. This has been the exact opposite. It's like the Bizarro world. In one of those Seinfeld episodes. I do like the Rangers. I think at some point they're not going to win another game 5-1 in New Jersey like they did the first 2. but they've got to be on the right end of like a 3-2 type game, and it could be here. This is where their big names have to come forward. Now, whether it happens or not, this is not on my card. So this is a lean for me. I like the Rangers. I'm not laying any money on them. Like I'm not laying any juice on them because they're even money right now. And you might be able to get a plus 105 at some point during the day. But I think the Rangers are the right side here. I just don't see how they lose 3 straight in this series. It's sort of what New Jersey was up against in Game 3, and they came out and won that one. This is a series that I thought would go at least 6, maybe 7. So it's going to go 6. And I think that very well, if the Rangers win tonight, I think we're going to go back to New Jersey for Game 7 because it wouldn't put it past me on the Devils going into Madison Square Garden and getting the win there again. So I'm looking forward to a 7-game series, and it starts with the Rangers winning tonight in New York. Speaking of series not ending, series that are ending as the not ending is this one. One that will end tonight, Andrew, is this next one. So you already know what my opinion is. I'm going to throw it to you.
Yeah, there's a sneak peek of Carm's pick on this game. Winnipeg plus 160, Vegas minus 190. Of course, it is potentially elimination day for the Winnipeg Jets. Total 5.5 guys shaded towards the over minus 125 there in that one. Really quick, just looking at the injury list here for Winnipeg. I mean, Cole Perfetti, he's been on the IR all year. David Riddick, they don't need him. Josh Morrissey, a guy that's been named as one of the best defensemen in the league, he's been out for the series. Nikolai Ehlers, of course, he's iffy to play tonight, but we may or may not see him. And Mark Scheifele will not play tonight. So, guys, when you're a team struggling, when you're a team in a wild card position, trying to just stay alive in a series, the last thing you can afford to have is a bundle of injuries. And I think that that's really, really hurt this Winnipeg Jets team. I understand that Vegas at their best is the better team, the deeper team, and potentially the more consistent team throughout their lineup. But when you look at the Winnipeg side and how they played in Game 1, we haven't seen that since then. And a lot of it to me has to do with the injury of Josh Morrissey and some of the big players on that team. Vegas minus 190. I'll forget about that. Minus 1.5 to plus 150. If Vegas closes things out tonight, which I do think they will win by more than 1 goal. So I'll take the plus 150 on that one. And I have to look again towards the third period over. If your book allows you to bet this, guys, I'm starting to bet these before the games start. That way I get a lot better of numbers than I will after the game is already going. Third period over in these elimination games. You're seeing the ice open up. You're seeing empty net goals. You're seeing goals from both clubs. And like I said, you're getting a better number if you bet that before the game starts than you will after. But I think the time has come for the Winnipeg Jets. They might try and start things off with a big defensive effort, but I do not think that they can hold off Vegas for 60 minutes tonight, especially with the injuries that they have. So I'll take Vegas minus 1.5 plus 150. Carm?
Andrew, I'm so disappointed in you. I'm disappointed in you. You know why I'm disappointed in you. We'll have a discussion at the end of this show because you know what my show best bet is. And here you are blurting it out before I even get a chance to talk. But it's okay. I know where you live. Listen, Vegas has just gotten better as this series progressed. And I get it. The Winnipeg has injuries. This is probably of the two Game 5s tonight, the 3 Game 5s, only 2 of them are closeout games. This is the one that I probably feel stronger about. I think Vegas closes it out here. Like I said, they've gotten stronger throughout the playoffs. I wish that this would go a little further because I did have a small play on Winnipeg plus 1.5 games, laying a little bit of juice in this series. And when they won Game 1, I felt a little bit better. But for all intents and purposes, this one should be over. I think Vegas comes out and grabs hold of this game early on. You can take that first period, and I don't know, somebody asked me for a first period yesterday. This is probably one when you take the first period on Vegas on the handicap. You lay the half a goal, you're getting plus 145 on your money. And if Vegas comes out and has that first period lead, they'll go on to win this game, and I expect them to do so. So I'm going to take Vegas first period minus a half plus 145. in this game, and then go to the guy who I know has a big bet on the Golden Knights to win the series, Mr. Leonard. Brian? Hello?
Yes. We're good. Okay. Okay. Here, you had mentioned that you didn't have Andrew and my type of money. Did you forget that you were tweeting out pictures from looks like a tremendous steakhouse, and you had bought like everything on the menu? You spent more in that one meal than Andrew and I probably spend in 2 weeks on our meals. And you don't have our type of money. Secondly, you were talking about you were upset because nobody was arguing with you on this show. I'll argue with you on this one, and I'm a Vegas season ticket holder. Yes, I have a 5% play on Vegas. I came into this series thinking Vegas was going to dominate. And after game one, I'm starting to think, what did everybody else see that I haven't? Well, I guess they haven't seen what I have. And what I've seen is Vegas winning, but they haven't been dominant. And even if you go back to last game, for the expected goals, it was pretty much even all along. Yes, Winnipeg has injuries. I understand that. But this is a team who's played with a tremendous amount of heart. They had to play really well coming down the stretch in the regular season to make the playoffs. Vegas, I've watched this team so many times this year, and there are games where they just come out and they just don't have the effort. I don't think they're going to have the effort here. As Marco would say, they're fat and happy, fat and sassy, and I think Winnipeg is going to take advantage of that. So I would have to disagree with both of you on this one, because I don't think Vegas is going to come out of the chute fired up at this situation. So I don't want them in the first period. And the line is showing value on Winnipeg plus the 160. And once again, the road teams have played very well this entire playoffs. And you're giving me a team with their back against the wall at plus 160 in a series that, even though I thought Vegas was going to dominate, I haven't seen that with my eyes. So this series has been a whole lot closer than the way the final scores have looked.
It truly has, but sometimes, like, we find out that those little mistakes can be really the difference in a series, right? And Brian, I think you're similar to me, where you don't read as much into the scoreboard as kind of how the game played out, whether it's from your eyes or whether it's the analytics telling you things. And honestly, that's kind of how I felt about the amount of totals. Like, I lost 2 unders in this series, and then I stopped betting the total. After I lost 2 unders, I was like, I'm done betting the total in this series, because the way it played out to me was that, it'd be such shutdown hockey, like absolutely nothing happening for 7 minutes, and then we'll see 2 goals go in. And that's the thing with these 5.5s, as Buster talks about. I know the numbers that Ralph sent us, the 5.5s do tend to go under more, but with these 5.5s, I mean, look at what happened yesterday. Even honestly, I had the over as a best bet for clients in the Bruins game, but the Florida goals weren't very nice, but that's what happens sometimes when you want to save the day and get the job done and move forwards. And I just think that Vegas has that it factor a bit more than Winnipeg does. And when you take a guy like Scheifele out and Morrissey out, it makes a big difference. It's tough for a team that's already trying to fight for their lives to be without really, really key players. But Carm, you mentioned I stole your best bet, which, to be honest with you, I didn't even know what it was. I didn't even look today what it was. But what do you have going on today? You've got soccer, there's MLB, there's so much going on. It's half off day at WagerTalk. Of course, we have that Try WT promo as well for anybody using WagerTalk for the very first time. 50% off 1 day or 3-day all access pass. It's a great opportunity to try anybody out, or maybe wait till tomorrow to use it, because it is half off day today. But Carm, best bet from you, and a quick reminder of what you have going.
Yeah, before I do that, and yeah, save that Try WT if you've never dipped your toe into the WagerTalk water there, because today's 50% off day. So take advantage of that, and then use the Try WT to get a 3-day all access for 50% off on Friday, and you get Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So you're essentially getting 4 days each day at 50% off. It's not a bad deal. But I want to mention a stat that Ralph dropped in last night, and that is talking about like teams that these are away teams where the line is anywhere from them being minus 150 down to like plus 150. The average line being about plus 109. And that's where, if you're looking at Tampa Bay, that's where Tampa Bay kind of falls into for tonight's game. Those teams are 15-5 with an average price of, as I said, so 75% with an average price of plus 109. And that is dating back to, I think that's very well, I don't have his date back, but I got to guess this might be this year's playoffs that those teams are 15-5 this year. Yeah, this year's playoffs. So away teams with a line between anywhere from minus 150 down to plus 150. The away teams, they're winning at a 15-5 clip, which kind of goes with the how road teams have been doing in the playoffs and recently, as Brian Leonard tweeted out yesterday. About the run that road teams are on. So I just wanted to mention that one before I went into this final segment. So as far as my best bet, guys, I mentioned I have two MLB plays up, 3 soccer plays up to go this afternoon in the Premier League, and 4 NHL, their plays and props mixed up. So a 1-day all access, $19.50, you'll get all 9 plays. My best bet, I'm going to that Vegas game. I disagree with Brian Leonard. I don't think Vegas is going to be fat and sassy here. I say they get the job done, eliminate Winnipeg in 5, and then get ready to face either the Kings or the Oilers in that divisional final. And I'm going to take them on the puck line. I'm going to lay the 1.5. I'm going to take the plus 150, and I'm just going to buy more food in New York City with my winnings. So take that, Brian Leonard, and tell us what you got.
Man, I got to say, Carm, have you been hanging out with Don Buster a lot? You're talking about agreeing, disagreeing. I mean, he's looking for a fight today with somebody. I mean, Brian, he's talking about if I disagree, I don't have to announce it to the whole room. I just say my pick. But damn, Carm's bringing the heat.
Well, one of us has got to. It's it's like Abbott and Costello, Jekyll and Hyde. One of us. Good cop, bad cop, Oscar and Felix. You know what I mean? We are the ultimate odd couple, you and I. So you're like my son. I'm way older than you. So it is. Were you even alive the last time the Leafs made it out of the first round of the playoffs? Were you alive when the Montreal Canadiens won their last cup?
No.
No, there you go. Well, that tells you everything. With that said, Brian Leonard, tell us what you have up at WagerTalk and give us a show best bet.
As mentioned before, baseball, these first half team totals have been very good for me. I've got 3 of them going today. 2 NHL plays. I think you figured out which 2 of the 3 we discussed are the plays on that. But I'm going to go back to the Rangers game against New Jersey here. Rarely do you get a coach that calls out the team for lack of effort. I'm always reading. I know Ted Savransky is always putting quotes in all of his write-ups. It shows me that he's putting in the effort. And when I find out a time where a coach or one of the players calls out everybody else, that's the team I'm looking to back here. Road team's perfect 4-0 in the series, 14-3 run overall. Give me the Rangers here as my best bet.
I love that. The coach is not happy. The leaders in the team are not happy. Brian looking towards the Rangers for his best bet. Guys, up nearly 18 units in the playoffs so far. Still in the negative slightly for the season. Full transparency, but trying to build things back, end up with a very positive season. As you guys know, the playoffs, it takes a while, several weeks. We'll try and build things back and end up with a big result to the season. But plus 18 units in the playoffs, have a big bet going tonight. And my best bet for the show, over 1.5 goals in the first period, Toronto and Tampa Bay. This play has hit in every single game so far. We have seen a fast start to all these games, and then they seem to slow the pace down and start playing defensive hockey in the second period. So I'll take first period over the 1.5 goals. Carmine with Vegas minus 1.5, and Bryan with the Rangers on the money line. Thanks a lot for watching, guys. Best of luck. We'll see you tomorrow.
If you love $9 Monday and $2 Tuesday, you're really going to appreciate our new Throwback Thursday when all daily packages are slashed in half. Yes, you heard right. At both WagerTalk.com and SportsMemo.com, all Thursday daily packages are now 50% off. This means that a 4% package will be only $12.50. A 5% top-rated play, normally priced at $35, will be only $17.50. And the hottest sales item of the day, get a full day of access from the handicappers of your choice. That's one day of every applicable play they release, including any 5% best bets, normally priced at $39, for only $19.50. The best part is you can come back every Thursday to take advantage of this limited time 50% off spring offer.